अगस्त 1947 ये ऑल इंडिया रेडियो लाहौर है। आप हमारे अगले ऐलान का इंतजार कीजिए। 14 अगस्त 1947 ये रेडियो पाकिस्तान लाहौर है। आपको पाकिस्तान मुबारक।
It is the 7th of August 1947. The first Governor General of Pakistan, Mr. Muhammad Ali Jinnah, needs an aircraft, not a fighter, not a luxury plane, but a transport plane. And Jinnah makes a choice that reportedly surprises British military officers serving under him. He chooses the Douglas DC03 or the Dakota. And that choice tells us something about the Azam's fascinating personality. The DC-3 was one of the most successful aircraft in aviation history. The British called it the Dakota. It was not glamorous, it was dependable. It could carry people, equipment, and supplies over enormous distances. During the Second World War, the Dakota became one of the great workhorses of Allied air transport. It helped move men and material that sustained Allied war operations, included the enormous airborne operations of D-Day. So remarkable was its stability that in 1957, in one extraordinary incident, a DC-3 continued flying after its pilot had bailed out and eventually landed safely, an aircraft that could practically fly itself. And that was the machine Jinnah chose. To understand Jinnah's choice, we have to go back not to 1947 but to 1924. Jinnah was a civilian, a lawyer, a politician. He had no military training. Yet in 1924, he became involved in the examination of one of the most important questions facing British India, and that was the Indianization of the Indian army. The demand was simple. If India had Indian soldiers, why should Indians command them? The commission toured military institutions, including Sandhurst, the great British military academy. Jinnah saw how modern military organizations were trained, structured, and commanded. But he did something else. He observed, he studied, he challenged. The commission soon divided into opposing camps, and Jinnah led the minority, as he has often done. Because Jinnah was an Indian nationalist to his core in 1924, he was not prepared to simply repeat the official British position. Wherever he went, he attacked British colonial rule. One frustrated British officer even said, "Of all the agitators in India, Jinnah is the most disgraceful." But beneath the politics was something deeper. Jinnah was studying power. And then came the day. Jinnah had observed the First World War and how it transformed warfare. So when it was his chance, he understood that air power no longer supported the war. It became the central factor in the victory of any war. Then in 1947, Pakistan was born, and suddenly Jinnah had to transform political authority into functioning machinery of the state. There was supposed to be 2 aircraft available to the new Governor General, and Jinnah's preference fell on the DC-3. The DC-3 became indispensable to Jinnah. It carried him between major centers of the new country. It took him from Karachi to Ziyarat. It gave Pakistan's first Governor General something that the new state desperately needed: mobility. Imagine the geography of Pakistan in 1947: Karachi, Lahore, Dhaka, Peshawar, and Jinnah had to fly everywhere. And perhaps that is why this forgotten detail of Jinnah's life matters. The man who chose the DC-3 was not a pilot, he was not a soldier, he was a lawyer, but for decades he had studied the machinery of power and air forces itself, and he chose the DC-3 because of its reliability and range and practicality. The DC-3 or the Dakota may be known by different names around the world, but in Pakistan, the DC-3 Dakota has always been known as Jinnah's plane.